Couple up.
Across the United States, officers use force against prisoners with mental disabilities unnecessarily, excessively, and even maliciously.
Prisoners with mental illness are more likely to have disciplinary problems, to wind up in solitary confinement, and to be subjected to use of force by correction staff.
Prisoners are beaten, pepper sprayed, shocked with electric stun guns. They end up with broken bones. They end up with lacerations, burns, stitches, and sometimes they end up dead.
Lopez, come to the door.
Christopher Lopez suffered with mental illness for most of his adult life. He died at the San Carlos Correctional Facility in Pueblo, Colorado.
Fender Lopez, this is your third chance to come to the door and cuff up.
Over the course of 7 hours,
We will have the team enter your cell.
the corrections and medical staff, in an effort to follow policy, videotaped the last hours of Christopher Lopez's life.
Fender refuses to comply with directives. Team leader, you have permission to enter cell.
You can hear labored breathing by Lopez. He's now in the restraint chair. The restraint chair is like a wheelchair, except your hands are tied and you're shackled at the waist and your ankles are tied. He's got a spit hood over him to prevent him from spitting at any officers. Mr. Lopez had a grand mal seizure. It was clearly audible and visible from where all the guards were, and no one lifts a finger to help him.
I don't know, the breathing's kind of funny. I don't know if you have a seizure or not. We get in trouble for not doing things,
Lopez, we're going to take you out of the chair, okay? Maybe be a little more comfortable. Holler if anything changes. Okay?
like you should stop breathing.
What he needed is immediate medical attention to find out what's wrong with him. Had they done a blood draw, they would have seen a sodium deficiency. They would have given him an IV, a saline IV, and he would have been fine.
It's become pretty well known in the United States that jails and prisons have become de facto mental health facilities. Yet they don't have the mental health staff and resources to provide treatment. So you have untreated or undertreated people, and they may act out in ways that break prison rules.
No, we're not. No one's going to hurt you.
Prisoners with mental disabilities end up disproportionately in solitary confinement, which heightens the risk of force being used against them. In case after case after case, what we found was that custody staff were using force to respond to minor, non-threatening misconduct.
Officers are taught that inmates need to obey. I mean, it's a militaristic, top-down organization. So a lot of orders are barked, like cuff up, stand up for count, do what I say right now.
Your refusal to comply with my orders of voluntary exit is noted. In accordance with the California Code of Regulations, Title 15, 3268, we are authorized to use force, including chemical agents, to physically extract you.
People with mental illness who's lost contact with reality may feel very threatened by the correction officers, and they're less likely to obey direct orders.
Turn around and cuff up. Turn around and cuff up.
Sometimes thinking is so confused that they don't understand what a non-mentally ill person would understand to be a direct order.